it's tough. I don't love what Lane Taylor did last year, but he was fine a couple years ago. Like I don't need someone who's insane there. You just need someone who's like not awful. And it comes down to a depth thing as well. I mean, like I've been saying 1,000 times, it feels like with every position so far, because I'm non-committal. So much of this is you're hoping for guys. If Lane Taylor, if they cut him surprisingly, and then you're hoping that the second round rookie comes in and does good, and then if he gets injured, and then what happens here? Then you hope Cole Madison is fine. Then you hope Lucas Patrick is at least as good as last year and hopefully better. Like there's so many question marks on that line, and Taylor didn't do great last year. But I said this at the time of the draft, at the time of the pick, so much of this draft seems like it's setting up for next year. It seems like Jenkins will likely be Taylor's replacement. I don't see him starting until next year, barring an injury. I think they drafted him to take a spot next year, whether that's the left guard or the right guard spot. I don't know. Just where the offensive line is at, it seems really dicey. I don't love the depth there. If they cut a guy like Taylor, who has shown he can be solid, in favor of a rookie, the depth is screwed, man. Unless Taylor comes out the gate and is just absolutely unplayable, I don't want any part of that action.
What if you moved Turner over and slapped him in the left guard and then brought in either Jenkins or Madison in the right guard?
No. No, for the same reasons. I don't.
I'm just throwing in different combinations.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I've actually put a lot of thought into this. I like where the offensive line is at now, and I'm also thinking, and I mean, so much of this. I mean, you guys said it. I mean, this isn't what it's going to look like when the season starts, and there's going to be injuries, and especially with Bulaga's injury history, I wouldn't be shocked if at some point this year Bulaga goes down. Turner kicks the right tackle, where he's going to be next year anyway, I assume. And then Jenkins plays right guard. Like I'm not mad at that. Like that'd be fine. But I wouldn't like if you purposely put yourself in that position before the season starts, where you're kind of hoping on this rookie to do well. I mean, listen, different position, different guy. But it wasn't that long ago we were like, man, I don't know, Jason Spriggs, like as a rookie, like absolutely not. It just takes a while to get there, and it would almost feel like I'm at the point with this front office. If they make a move, even if I don't love it on its face, I got enough trust in them to say like, okay, there's probably some thought process behind it. So if Lane Taylor gets cut, I'm gonna say, okay, there's probably a thought process behind this. But I'm also gonna think it sure seems like they're shooting themselves in the foot for no reason right now.
I will say,
like I said,
Elton
go ahead, Jake.
Has played. Well, I was just going to say, Elton Jenkins played 4 of 5 positions on the offensive line in his entire career. The only place I'm not ever going to say Elton Jenkins is going to be plugged and played on this offensive line is the one place he's never played. That's right guard. He was brought in to come in and play left guard either this year at some point, or he'll be their left guard of the future if he develops right. He's not playing right guard. That's not where he's brought in to play, and he's never played there. And like other guards that we've heard from Packersville, when you switch left to right like that, that's like trying to wipe your butt with the opposite hand. It's very, very annoying. And so you're going to keep, especially a rookie, in his most comfortable spot, especially when you drafted him so highly. That's why Spriggs isn't, they tried to put him at left, but they've really stuck with him at right because that's where they drafted him to play.
Spriggs isn't good anyway, though. So.
I think Spriggs is a guard, quite honestly. I think his athleticism is a good fit in guard in this. He's just tackle is hard to play in the NFL. Just period, man.
No, when I watched
oops, sorry. So that's like I don't love Spriggs anywhere, just anywhere. And I'm hoping he shakes, but yeah.
When I watched Spriggs and Bell on the same right side last year, my behind puckered because I'm like, oh dear Lord, whatever QB is there, run for your life.
Yeah, not a great look.
Oh God, I know Taylor played well 2 years ago. I have full faith in he can get back to it. It just scares me because who do we play week 1 again? We play Chicago, and Akeem Hicks shucked him like a rag doll out of his little sister's closet. And oh my God, it scares me. Goldman and Hicks literally tore him apart that game in the first half, and I'm not ready for that again.
The only thing I'll say is that, I mean, if that happens again, and that Bears defense is really, really good, I'm not going to overreact to whatever the offensive line does that first week, just because that defensive line is stacked, that front seven is stacked.
I know.
So I'm gonna not overreact. And if he gets shook again, I'm not gonna say Jenkins should be in there, because Jenkins is gonna get shook probably worse than Taylor if they stick him in that first game.
But what if he wouldn't, though, if he came in? What if he wouldn't, Dusty?
Listen, man, I've said that with so many guys. And
I know.
What if Jarrett Boykin was good? You know, what if he did it?
Oh, God.
Oh, what if he did it, man?
Oh, God, that name. Ooh. I haven't heard that name in a while. That just made me cringe a little.
I think about it more often than I should.
All right.
So it sounds like it. Actually, I have one more question for you on something.
Yeah.
Where do you see Daniels landing? I saw you visit with the Browns, and I kind of figured that because Dorsey is familiar with him as a former exec. So, I mean, I saw some other teams pop up, but where do you see him landing?
You know, honestly, I haven't put a whole lot of thought into it. I'm still mourning a little bit. I mean, the Browns obviously.
I'm helping you.
For the reasons you just said. I know. I'm trying to move on. You mentioned Maggie Loney earlier. She mentioned, and I love this, going to LA, going out to the Rams. And I have zero idea if they have the money for this. But man, like Daniels and Donald with Clay Matthews behind could be just a tremendous amount of fun to watch. So I've not looked from a money perspective or fit or any of this stuff on any team, but just from a pure joy perspective, I like watching the Rams anyway. Watching Donald and Daniels side by side would just be a tremendous amount of fun. And I'll even say the same thing just because I like apparently very short, strong men. If he went to Cincy, Cincy's going to be garbage, and so he's not going to go there because he obviously wants to go with a place that maybe has a chance to win a Super Bowl. Him next to Geno Atkins. Just basically anywhere you can get like kind of two bowling ball guys with arms next to each other, wreaking havoc, would be a blast. So if I like, my number one pick would be the Rams, I think.
I've read the Patriots are also something, and wouldn't that be awesome if he could link back up with Lawrence Guy over on the defensive line with New England?
Yeah, but then I have to root against him really, really hard. I don't want to.
He's out of the conference. That's why I don't want him on the Rams. I don't want to face Daniels in the playoffs because I feel like the extra motivation. I need less obstacles in the playoffs for the Packers. That's just an extra one.
It's the Patriots in the AFC, though, right? I mean, like, they're not going to face the Rams for the playoffs. They're not going to face the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I'll take my chances. I'll take my chances with the playoffs. And just because I want to have fun during the season. I don't want to have to be like,
I know
you're doing really good, but it's also in New England. I don't want that. I want to be happy in my life. That's all I want.
What about if he went to Carolina?
Ooh.
Wouldn't hate it.
Yeah. Play with Gerald and Kawan Short.
That'd be a really, really fun line. Really, really fun.
Ooh.
Not the biggest Panthers fan, but I also do not hate them. But that's also in conference. So, like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Hey, how dare you? I just like Gerald McCoy. I like to contradict my personalities, Jay.
So now we have multiple personalities. Some days you scare me.
Yeah, you might get Fred here in a second.
Do you know that I got a new chair today, so my feet aren't clicking for Dusty's show?
But you're still off the floor. That doesn't change the...
No, I'm not. My feet are flat on the floor now.
Oh, so it's a kid... Is it one of those kid camping chairs?
No, I stole it from my daughter, actually.
Please. No, I'm not even... No. Okay, Jay, please. I can't. Don't even get me started on that right now. What is your subject you wanted to bring up?
Well, I was just going to ask Dusty what he's working on right now, what he's been putting. Is he been in the film room, or what's he been doing? And I gave her a pink chair to replace it, by the way.
Yeah, no, I've been doing weekly articles coming out Thursday. I think those are starting to wrap up. It's been
very nice.
Passing concepts from LaFleur's offense. So I had one come out, I think it's 4 Eastern every Thursday for the past 12 weeks. I don't remember how many I've done at this point. So some pretty fun stuff I've been doing, kind of looking at all that stuff, looking at, hey, this is what they ran. Here's why it worked. Here's what the personnel grouping could look like in Green Bay, and here's some variations you can run off of it. It's been a ton of fun to look at that. So I think I've got maybe 2 of those left. Actually, 1 of those left. I'm capping it off with something fun. I'm not going to spoil it, I guess, because I'm not sure if I'm going to do it or not. But I got 1 more LaFleur play to look at from last year in Tennessee, and then training or the preseason is going to be here, which is exciting. So yeah, I've spent. Like I said, I normally take off season off. This off season been a little different, so I've been kind of digging into LaFleur's offense. I kind of done it. It's kind of a stroke of luck. I started doing the Titans when they hired LaFleur, but 2 years ago I picked the Rams to kind of watch when I wasn't watching the Packers, and so I had a ton of stuff from the Rams already. And so watching how the Rams offense from 2 years ago lined up with the Titans from last year is just a blast. So they've been able to do a lot of that without too much extra work. So I already had all those the gifts made and kind of looked at all that stuff, which has been awesome. So yeah, a lot of time just watching passing routes. Just a whole lot of time watching passing routes, which is just an absolute blast. It's been a really fun off season. It's been just a blast to write, man. It's been a good time. Been a good time.
What's the biggest difference when you watch film of all these offenses that LaFleur's been a part of and all the film study? What's the biggest thing that jumps out to you?
Ooh, I like this one.
Compared to what we saw with 13 years of Mike McCarthy? Because, Dusty, I guess what I'm trying to get across to people is I believe that when we're talking about roster breakdowns and the way this offense is and these lazy-ass narratives that there's going to be communication problems and Aaron's going to be hard to control, it's all stuck on this 13 years and especially the last 4 years of Mike McCarthy, and people just can't kick that. And I know that somebody that's actually walked film, there's a lot of stuff that's got to jump out to you that's just different in what we can expect. So can you explain that to some of these people with more intelligence than what I can?
Well, let me start off with this. If we're talking lazy narratives, I think one of the narratives that I've been trying to break a little bit over the past year or so has been the fact that McCarthy's offense was stale and never changed anything. And now I'm not before people start throwing stuff at their phone or however they listen to this. I'm not the biggest McCarthy apologist. I do believe it was time for him to go. I also believe that if people say, well, he was still only running ISO routes and blah, 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 that is patently false over the past year and a half. McCarthy at some point last year said, we've been watching what the Rams have been doing. We've been taking a lot of that stuff and working that in. And people were like, well, why is Mark McCarthy lying? Well, he wasn't. He wasn't. I think if we look at Mike McCarthy's biggest downfall from last year, it wasn't what he was running. It was, and this, I don't know if this sounds better or worse. It wasn't what he was running, because he was running a lot of stuff that's kind of comparable to those offenses. It was how he was running it, or like when he was running it and who he was running it with. His use of personnel, he didn't make. We touched on Trevor Davis earlier, but he didn't make the best use of his personnel. He didn't put guys in their best position to succeed.
Their tight ends were used horribly.
Tight ends, yeah. I mean, that's perfect example. Mercedes Lewis had 3 catches last year. That's ridiculous.
And he is a receiving underrated threat too.
Yeah, that was when they signed him. That was one of my big things. He's an insane blocker, but he's not fast, but he's more athletic than I think a lot of people give him credit for. If you can get him in the open field a little bit. Yeah, but he's kind of bigger than Jason Witten. I'm not gonna say better because clearly not better, but like he's a big body guy.
Oh,
who is
actually,
at this point quicker than Witten.
I have a comparison. Yeah. Why can't Mercedes Lewis be LaFleur's Delaney Walker he had in Tennessee before he got injured?
Yeah, that's the hope. That's absolutely the hope.
I can't wait because he has a really good hands for a blocking tight end. Like I watched him in Jacksonville on his tape, and it's like, why aren't we throwing this guy the ball?
That's great,
I'm like,
Dave,
he
but
clearly
I want
catch
Dusty
it.
to finish his explanation because he's on a very good point, and he's over here talking about things that not even we thought about when this Mike McCarthy. So we want to let Dusty finish his complete thought here. Keep going, Dusty. This is interesting to me. I haven't heard anybody else say this.
I just wanted to bring up the comparison. That was it.
That's good. That's actually a really good transition. If you take Mercedes Lewis as a point to look at, as a guy to look at. A lot of stuff I've been drawing up over the offseason has been kind of how you can use Mercedes Lewis, it's a deception, right? It's not what you run. It's not just the